Watching videos about trauma can take you down a rabbit hole of bad memories and scary diagnoses and fear and self-doubts about whether anything is ever going to get better for you. Well, chances are you're already getting better. And I want to remind you of some of the many signs that your healing may be well underway. We don't talk about that much, but it is absolutely important. Trauma healing isn't just the bad stuff. It's the powerful and the subtle changes that you begin to notice, maybe not even realizing until now that that is a sign that you are in fact healing. So here are some signs. And if you like, you can just relax and let this information wash over you as validation and encouragement for all the hard work that you do to transform your life after trauma. Number 1, when your trauma is healing, you will no longer tend to see things in black and white terms. People, yourself, situations. You no longer hold them up as all good or put them down as all bad. You begin to appreciate the complexity of things, the way people can have faults, but be decent people anyway. You'll have less outrage and more curiosity, less impatience and more persistence. You lose the attraction to extreme views or authority figures, and you gain the ability to interact with a variety of people. Relationships where one person dominates will become more equal, or they'll fade away. It will be less necessary to cut people out of your life. Think of all the struggle that you've had in the past around this problem and how good it will feel to be free. Number 2, you'll have a natural desire to care for your body. Part of it is because you'll have less drama and more energy to do things like take a walk, floss your teeth, or shop for clothes that look fabulous on you. You'll feel a little better. And so now when you're feeling too schlumpy to leave the house, or you're tired from watching TV until 1 a.m., it'll feel not worth it anymore. It will become more possible to face your addictions and take action to overcome them. Now, one little step after the other will lead to more clarity, more enthusiasm for your life, and you'll want to do more good things for yourself. Number 3 is you'll naturally crave healthier foods. Being at the effect of past trauma can lead to everything from obesity and eating disorders to a tendency to deal with stress by binging on carbs and sugar. These foods can be calming at first, but dysregulating in the long run. Number 4, you'll lose that compulsive desire to binge on TV and video games and just plain looking at your phone all the time. And if you're someone who has been into that stuff enough to interfere with your sleep or your meals or your job performance, or your ability to be present with the people in your life, then the release from screen addiction will be life-changing for you. And I know I have to look in a screen to say this to you, and you have to watch a screen to hear me say it, but everything in moderation, right? Number 5, you'll notice this big sign that you're not re-traumatizing yourself anymore. When you aren't tempted anymore to fudge the truth, things like exaggerating, hiding important information about yourself, or even lying about things. Part of the reason is there's nothing you need to hide or that you feel ashamed about. You won't have so many problems. So you'll be comfortable being more honest about what's going on in your life. But it's also because just being real, being honestly yourself, feels better. You'll start to have real discomfort when you're not being real. You'll actually want the truth to filter through your life. And if there's anyone still in your life who can't handle who you really are and how you really feel, then that's okay. Maybe they're not meant to be there. Maybe when they're gone, even though saying goodbye to them will be sad, there's going to be this nice big space where someone who loves and accepts you can be. Number 6, your work life will start to go better. You won't stay stuck in unfulfilling work. You'll change your relationship to that job, or you'll get a new one. And if a lack of work has been your problem, all the good changes happening will make it easier to get work and earn money that supports you and the people who count on you. You'll know how to steer clear of exploitative or abusive employers. You'll lose your appetite for conflicts on the job, and you'll gain the ability to show up and do good work and be the encourager of your coworkers and an advocate for yourself and your ideas when you need to. Number 7, you'll find the energy to be more productive in all you do, to be more focused throughout the day, performing your work and keeping up with your obligations to people who count on you. Taking care of each day's to-do list will feel satisfying, and you'll release the shame that you once carried because you had let yourself and so many other people down. You'll show up on time where you're expected, and that old feeling of dread around responsibilities and deadlines will get lighter. Your life will move forward in positive ways. Number 8, you'll naturally want to clear your living space of things that aren't useful to you. You don't need them, and they're cluttering a space that can now be calming and tidy and peaceful for you to come home to. You'll be comfortable in solitude, and when you have nothing to do, you won't be driven to make plans to do things you don't really enjoy just to fill the time. You'll have a better ability to process the thoughts and feelings that tend to accumulate in your mind when you're stressed. You'll be able to think about things and then take action and then let the outcome go. Your mind and emotions are open and spacious. Number 9, you'll lose interest in assigning blame to yourself or other people for problems and focus instead on finding good solutions. You'll feel less angry, less irritable, and when something is your fault, it'll just be easier to own it and apologize. And when someone else owes you an apology, but they don't give it to you, you don't dwell on it. Blamey news and social media posts will start to put a bad taste in your mouth. And people in your life may not know why, but they'll feel better about themselves when they're around you. Number 10 is any attraction that you once had to unavailable partners and troubled friends will just release you. I talk a lot about this in all my videos about healing relationships, but so much life damage is done through this one self-defeating behavior, connecting and bonding with or staying with people who are trouble, or avoiding any kind of intimacy with people at all, even though it's what you long for, or abusing intimacy by acting out sexually, which is still a way of having no intimacy. This is one part of CPTSD that can be hard to heal just by deciding to change. It cuts to the heart of that trauma wound. But when you've made real progress in other areas, it'll be easier to stop re-traumatizing yourself in this way. The spell is broken, and there's peace when you're single, and the possibility of harmony and real love when you do meet someone. Number 11 is you'll start to prefer reality to fantasy, and the tendency to check out by spending too much time in a limerent fantasy romance or fantastical business success fantasies is really common with people in the middle of trauma, but in the end, it's just another way to avoid real problems and needed actions. And when you're healing, it just feels less necessary. And when you catch yourself daydreaming, you come back to the place where you can connect with people and put your goals into action, which is here and now. Number 12, your material well-being will come together in a positive way. Most people in the world, including most happy people, live good lives without being rich and famous, and some live on very little money at all. Financial hardship can fall on anyone, but when you're free of trauma, it's more possible to earn a steady income and let go of those get-rich-quick schemes, and to live within your means and release the fear of the past when maybe you were a few $100s away from homelessness too many days out of the year. It all gets better when you're healing, a little here, a little there. You can sleep at night. You can handle hard days. You can hold your head up even though you make mistakes, because you're not sabotaging yourself in ways that make you ashamed. This is what healing feels like when you're not re-traumatized all the time. So don't get discouraged. There are things you can do to start your healing right now. If you'd like my free PDF where I list these signs of healing, you can download it by clicking right here, and I will see you very soon.